Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Talent You Should Know, where we focus on the entertainment industry on a different level. Not only will there be artist and actor interviews of known and unknown talent, but insight into the team behind them that helps them build their brand. Each week, we'll tackle a different person in the industry with talents in their own rights. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So welcome everyone to another episode of Talent You Should Know with Zag. Tonight we have on Jasmine Shanise. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am so good. There's supposed to be a big storm here tonight, so I filled up my gas tank and,
So a snowstorm or like a thunderstorm?
It's supposed to be a snowstorm here in Denver.
Oh.
And I guess, it's going to be like 2 feet.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that because I will be in bed on my laptop, but that's... So, why don't we start from the beginning? How did you get started?
I'm gonna give you the typical. My mom put me in. No, let me stop. I wanted to be an actress when I was younger. I'm from Alabama.
Okay.
So I wanted to be an actress, but my family's like, "What is an actress? What do you do?"
Right.
So I wanted to go to school for theater. My daddy was like, no, what is that? So I went to school for finance. I'm terrible at math. So I went for marketing because I was like, I want to be an actress. So I'm going to learn how to market myself.
So
I graduated marketing and then I moved here to Dallas. The first thing I did was work an extra set here in Dallas. And I met like my
Was that Loving?
No. That wasn't Loving. That was in 2012 was when I came here. But I met Calvin Walker on that set.
Oh, okay.
Calvin Walker has been like instrumental to who I am today. Like just an angel on earth.
Yeah.
With my career. So we started doing short films, and I got pregnant. I had my daughter. 2015 went to Virginia Beach.
Got it.
I did Loving. I did Loving in Virginia Beach. And I moved back here and I was like, okay, I did Loving. I want to be a professional. That's it, man. We was in like a hurricane.
Yeah.
Hair nappy, but I'm happy, pocket full of dough. It was. So I came to Dallas and I just came on a mission to become, that's my son, to become a professional actress.
Yeah.
And my cousin was murdered in 2017.
I'm sorry.
He was 21, yeah. And I was like, okay, life isn't guaranteed. Let's hit this thing. Calvin wrote a piece for me, a SAG piece that I produced. I got myself SAG eligible. And after that, that's when the opportunities started coming in because now I'm union eligible. So now I'm getting the stuff. So it was like after we did all this creating, I finally got the opportunity to start working. Right. So that's how I started. And after that, I was on set with Catherine Keener. She was on, yeah. She taught me how to lead a film set. Like that was the first time I ever was on a set with somebody.
Yeah.
Me every aspect from the rooter to the tutor, how to take this product and move it to the end. And it was like after I watched that, I was able to lead a set. I was able to know what it took to work and do good work and help and support and do all that stuff. So that's how I got started.
But that's what's dope, what's, really great about people who are in the industry. And you always know the people who give back because they're the people who are steadily blessed, right?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, that's also happening with you. Like you work steadily, you know what I'm saying? And I really, I really love that. Can you tell me just like how impactful not just SAG has been with your consistency, but also like, do you have an agent?
I just signed with a new agent today, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about how SAG has kind of been versus working with outside of SAG. Like what's the difference, right?
The difference is simply opportunity. Before, you're nobody. People don't trust your work. They really don't see that much work. When you work union, you might get your footage, you might not.
Yeah.
And it was like when I took that extra step to become SAG eligible, because I worked background work. I did documentary stuff, and I had those vouchers.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, with being SAG, like, that's when the opportunities start coming. That's when they trust you to do the work.
Yeah.
Because you put in some footwork. Because some people can just do background work and just, become SAG eligible that way. But the way I did it, I really had to work and I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Because a SAG set is different.
Yeah.
And for me, I want to bring professionalism and bring great storytelling and bring the craft to the work that I do.
Yeah.
So it's very imperative that I earned it.
Okay.
In a way of working for it more. Yeah.
So when you get an agent, is that where you look for the agent or they find you?
So I've been signed to 3 different agents.
Okay.
And I looked for them.
Okay.
And I was searching for them. I'm like, hey, come look at me. I'm good. I'm great. And it's like, okay, we got 200 other people on this roster. So this agent was different.
Yeah.
I got to a place. I broke up with my agent in December.
Okay.
And I was so scared. I was like, God, I'm leaping out on faith, and I'm doing this by myself. And that's when Clubhouse started really popping. So I got on Clubhouse, and it's all these agents, and I'm like, hey, y'all, look at me. And they're like, just keep on working, and one day we'll see you.
Right.
And I was so defeated by it, but then I really thought about it. What if I came up to you right now, right? I came up to you, and I'm like, hey, I've worked with a microphone before. Hire me. What are you hiring me for? You haven't seen it. I've done.
Right.
I'm in a place where now I just want to show and prove.
Yeah.
And it so happens that the agent that saw me, she heard me on Clubhouse.
Right.
From there, she looked at my Instagram.
Uh-huh.
From there, she checked out some of the stuff that I'm doing on Clubhouse. She saw my website, and she seeked me out.
Yeah.
I like what I see.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
It felt so good, and it felt so different to have somebody want you as opposed to facing them.
And that's, I was talking to you. Do you know Dennis White?
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. So I was talking to him, and he said that the most important thing about an agent is that they believe in you.
Oh,
and that they believe in your work. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to fight for you if they don't believe in you, right? And they're responsible for, the jobs that you're getting. It's not the manager. This is the one who's focused on your career. So they have to really, believe in your craft. So it's good that she went all of these different avenues, right?
Yeah.
Just to learn more about you.
Yeah, and it's in dating, it's in anything. You want to attract people to you. You don't want to keep chasing people.
Yeah.
I want to have this thing where, because in this industry, even if you have an agent, you do 90% of the work. They do 10%, you do the rest of it.
They're like, go here. That'll be 10%. Thank you very much.
So just to have that is just like it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice to feel seen and wanted.
So now you went to acting school in London?
Honey.
What was that like?
Okay, so quarantine afforded so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Right? And I heard about identity school acting in the UK. And we had been on lockdown for like 4 months. Mm-hmm. My friend was like, hey girl, I'm like, I ain't got no money. And she's like, okay, I'll front you some money if you check this school out. I said, okay, girl.
Yeah.
So I got in. Wow. The importance of text and storytelling and body and movement and the craft.
Yeah.
Just the way that they care about the craft. It made me a different actor. It made me a different person. Because now instead of looking at, because when I started, I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't lie. When I started, I was like, I want people to see me.
Yeah.
I'm in this. Hey, I'm in this. I'm in this. I'm in this. I'm in this.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the character. And now to me, it's about the character and about the story I can tell and the message I can put out. You know what I'm saying? And just being a vessel for those stories.
Right.
And I see why British actors get work.
I mean, that is, first of all, method acting is a whole nother level, right? And some of the best method actors are from the UK. We have, what is that? Christian Bale.
Yeah.
We have, who's that? It's Anthony Hopkins. Is he British? Yeah. Right?
Is he?
I thought he was.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
But, we have that, like, theater there seems like it is so, like, that's what it is. It isn't movies out there. It's theater.
It's
right.
theater.
And so being on the stage is so different than being just being in the film. So, like, do you feel like you were prepared better by being, like, kind of in a theater atmosphere while you were out there?
Yeah. Especially with because when I started, I was just straight film, right?
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily thinking about the story, and you're not thinking about the development. You're thinking about the shot.
Right.
You're thinking about the close-up. You're thinking about, hey, these are the sides that I'm using right now.
Right.
Instead of thinking about the whole of the story.
Right.
And then putting it together. So just learning that was transformative. And it inspired me, because I told you I'm from Alabama. It inspired me to want to start a film kind of program in Alabama, because Alabama is just straight sports. Like, they don't create sports. And I feel like I learned in Britain, man, it's you're groomed to be an actor.
Yeah.
You're encouraged to be an actor.
Right.
And when you are an actor, you take it seriously. It's life, and it's air, and it's truth, and it's reality. Yeah. Here it's not so much. Here it's like, you look good. And I just want us to have that mentality here.
Right.
Because there's so many young Black actors who are amazing, who are raw, who just don't have the opportunity.
And that's what I appreciated, when I was talking to Deshaun, who I'm just speechless. Whenever I think about that conversation, I just learned so much. And, he has all of the, the collaborative artist block, and, then he's affiliated with Support Black Theater. And those are such key initiatives. And it's good to see that, there are so many people like you, who are, making sure that the arts are available to, young people. Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing about theater is I feel like, with I think at one point you said improv, you really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it's like, the thing about that is how useful that is in film, because with theater, you're in the moment, right? There are no retakes.
Yeah.
And so you have to improv, because then you're basing a lot of things off the feedback from the audience, right? Yeah. So how do you think that, have you seen the difference now since you've been to London in your film?
Definitely. And it's funny that you use improv. I have a project that's coming out as a short film. It's a short thriller horror film, right? It was my first time it was my first time really taking in the body of the character, the full body of the character, right? I feel like I really put her on. But the way I explored her was through improv, was to talking to myself, right?
Yeah.
And finding those things, talking to myself in her voice, finding those things. Improv is something very necessary for film, especially inner thoughts.
Yeah.
Leslie Kahn taught me about the inner thought, just how important inner thoughts in a scene is moving you forward.
Yeah.
I like to learn from different ideas of acting and putting it together and make your own little sauce because it's so much to learn.
Yeah.
It's so much.
And I feel like there's such a level of, and I've said this before, there's such a level of vulnerability when you're acting, because you have to become something else, right? In a sense, like there's part of you that you might be able to relate to with the character, but you still have to like cry on spot, or you have to, be scared or what have you. And those are things that you have to like really open yourself up to being able to do. So, when you're doing that, you often see a lot of people say, I had to take a month off after this character. So I kind of wanted to like see with you as, especially with the pandemic and everyone has this whole, mental health is like a really big thing.
Yes,
And then mental health struggles, and then we're in an industry, right? Acting where you're constantly like critiqued or you're judged or what have you. So how do you kind of keep a good headspace, or how do you think that actors do that in Hollywood now? Why is that? Because it's so important, right? To keep
it's
a
very
strong
important.
mental headspace.
It's very important. I'm still working on it. It's a work.
Yeah.
It's a work. Like you said, I did a movie last year and I played a barren woman who couldn't have kids. I have two kids running around.
Right.
And this was after we shot. 2 months after, I was still in her body. I was still sad about the kids I couldn't have.
Wow.
With 2 kids in my house.
Right.
But I've been working on breathing. I've been working on mindset. My mentor, Christine Huang, she's very huge on mindset.
Yeah.
Our mindsets is what keeps us going. And that's the only thing that's going to keep you up in this industry.
Yeah.
Finding things you like, you know what I'm saying? Brushing those feelings off. And another thing that I'm working on now is emotional intimacy, right? And what I'm learning with emotional intimacy, I'm learning how to feel sad, be okay with it, get close to it, and feel and understand what it is.
Yeah.
To not handle it, to not make it a negative thing.
Okay.
Just be like, I'm okay with this. I'm sad today. I'm okay. Yeah. This is what it feels like. So when I have this feeling again, I know what it is, and I know I'm gonna get through it, and I know I'm learning how to handle it.
Right.
So I'm trying to get really close to my emotions, all of them, because it's so much in this pandemic.
Right.
And it's not looking at it as a bad thing, because we look at anger and sadness and depression. We label it bad.
Yeah.
We want to be happy and we want to have joy, and everything else is bad. Just learning how to be okay with how you are, how you feeling right now.
Yeah.
And learning how to live with it, be okay with it, to move to a place that you want to be. So that's what I'm doing right now.
And that's what, it's interesting you say that, because my daughter said something to me the other day, and I don't know if she still believes it anymore, but she's 22. And she said, you're a lot more calm, a lot more at peace than, she said, you just seem like better, right? And I think, that is like acknowledging how you feel. Like, keep in mind, like, I promise you it was the next day that I cursed someone out, like, while I was driving. So she was like, I take it back. But in general, I hadn't cursed anyone out as often in my car as I usually had. And it was one of those things where, like, even I knew it might seem like small, but it's like, okay, I'm not getting worked up about this. Or if, like you said, if I'm sad, I'm like, you know what, it's okay for me to be sad. I'm not going to let that define the rest of my life, but this is what this is right now, right?
Yeah. And a lot of times what we do is like, I'm sad. No, you're not sad. So I'm going to fill myself with this. Right. And you're not dealing with the sadness. I think once we start really dealing with it and getting through it, we'll be at peace. Yeah. Closer to it anyway.
Closer to it. Because listen, what I will say is, when I lived in Jersey, because I'm from there, and someone cut me off, like, I would chase people. Like, I'm like, I was that one. It was bad. But see, out here, they shoot people. They get out. They can carry guns. I was like, you know what? You cut me. You know what? I'll get home anyway.
And you know what? The book I'm reading, Emotional Intimacy, it's funny. It talks about somebody cutting you off. It's like,
Yeah.
did you stop and think maybe they're going to the hospital?
Right.
Maybe they're having like a mental health issue. Now, if you flip me off,
Yeah.
then I'll be mad. But I've
Right.
been trying to, like you said, I've been trying to be peaceful about
Right.
that.
See how we lighten our voice?
I'm trying.
So I want to talk about your reel because I thought it was really good. And I love looking at actors' reels because it shows like the range, like you go from, comedic to serious and then passionate. But the last clip was you taking your wig off to go out and approach someone. And I was wondering, was that improv? Was that in the script or you just did that on the fly?
The walk off was in the script, but the wig off wasn't.
Right.
I took because improv, man, it brings so much. It brings so much life. I remember one of the movies I was telling you about. I'm in a hotel. I don't want to say too much because the movie's gonna come out. But I'm in a hotel, and it's my hotel, and my husband cheated on me. Right.
Right.
So I'm letting one of the guests listen in on my husband fornicating with one of the people. Right.
Right.
Mind you, I made this hotel a character because we have to understand, like, if there's a 6'4" in a show and it's in the whole show, the 6'4" is a character.
Right.
Like, that car is a character. It's a reason why it's there.
Yeah.
So my hotel is my child. So think about it. If you're listening in on your husband having sex with a woman while your child is there and they can hear it, so I personalized the hotel to make that my baby, and now I'm listening. Yeah, so it makes a different feeling. So I'm sitting there listening, talking to the door, and my director said, "Jasmine," Calvin said, "Jasmine, go." He said, "Do what you got to do." Right? Yeah. We did the take like 3 times. He was like, "This is your take." So start doing the take, and I'm doing the lines. And then I'm starting to feel something else. So I get to the door and I put my ear to the door. Like I told you, it's my baby, so I'm crying, right? Now it's an emotional thing. And then I get mad. Then I punch the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, that's it. That's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Just to find those things. Improvs help you find those things. I was doing a table read not too long ago. And we did the scene. And he was like, after the scene, I want you to just keep going to see what you can discover. We done discovered a whole life after the scene just from improving and really listening to the other person to bring out different things. And it's just, I
love how you love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's some people who do things for, a check or this or that. And then there are people who really, they just love it so much. And I feel that way, like, especially you just closing your eyes when you're talking about scenes. It's just really, I love this. So, is there like a genre that you kind of like you prefer? Because you know how there's some people who do mostly romantic comedies and some people do mostly horror. Is there anything that you feel like you're leaning towards at this point, or you're still open?
Not really. I struggled with drama for a long time. Like I started very comedic. And I was like, I just can't connect to this thing, not knowing that my childhood trauma kept me from emoting. So therapy is good.
Preach.
I enjoy, like, not really. I want to do sci-fi. Like after Lovecraft, I was like, I want to do sci-fi.
Yeah.
But I just love I did a horror film. I want to do comedy again soon, very soon.
Yeah.
But I love all.
Yeah.
I love all. I'm not really, if it's a good story and it's going to help somebody.
Yeah.
It's going to do something.
It's going to do something.
Yeah.
So when you started producing, and I think it was a couple of years ago you started producing, just how was that? And did you get a different perspective as an actor? You know what I mean? Like, did it change how you did things?
It changed how I appreciated everybody behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because putting all of it together, mind you, I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it, right?
Right.
I had the idea to do the movie in December.
Okay.
We shot the movie January 31st.
Wow.
So that was a month span. So they was like, SAG was like, you need 3 weeks to get all this together. I had to get that together. I had to hire the people. I had to hire the makeup. I had to make sure I had the DP, the director was paid. I had to make sure craft services, lights. I had to secure the location, and I had to fill out the paperwork and do all this stuff. I did all of it with Zahavi. Zahavi wasn't even a year old.
Wow.
Zara was 3. Was she 4? She was 4. Yeah. So I did all that with 2 kids. And it made me really appreciate the time of putting together a movie.
Yeah.
And then post-production. And then getting stuff in the festivals. And then distributing stuff. And then crediting people. I'm like, okay, let me make sure that I appreciate everybody, because don't get made unless that producer, those people behind the scenes do what they got to do. So it changed it for me.
What's the difference between a producer and an executive producer?
Okay, so it's dependent. It's dependent because you have executive, you have line, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning. But executive producer for me, I was the producer overall, right?
Right.
And then sometimes you have some people come in and they pitch in and they help, but executive is the one that really like anchors the whole thing.
Got it.
Now there are people in this world that put their people on, right?
Yeah.
And for my movie, I made my sister a producer. Right? She had nothing to do with it.
Right.
But that's just like moving the line forward. You know what I'm saying?
If and that's all I'll say. Yes.
So I just want to, I just want to put people in positions where
they can grow.
Yeah. So
that's how I am. If I'm eating, you're eating. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because I got a big table.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there's different things for different people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to dim your light for me. You might switch it so your light can go a different way and reflect a different way, but you don't have to dim yourself for me, because what's for me and what's for you is what's for you, and what's for me is what's for me.
Have you thought about directing? I don't mean to exhaust you, because I know.
I would love to direct. So I had the opportunity to direct last year, and just the things that you see.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in the scene, you can't see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you know how you're affecting somebody else.
Yeah.
But to look at somebody and to create the story and to see things that they're not seeing and to make it.
Let me tell you something. I want to tell you something. And I'm about to post this clip probably tonight. Do you watch This Is Us?
Yes.
Did you watch the last episode when it was about the mother and the scene at the lake when they were just standing there and she was standing there and it was just the lake at night and the moon was shining? You have got to I'm gonna post it, but it's just a moment. It's just, and then they have it with Sterling K. Brown in that same spot, grown up.
Yeah.
In the lake with the moonlight. And it's those visions, and it's like that awareness, as a director, you know what I mean? You see that and you're like, stop. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to have that kind of vision.
And you know what? Silence is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of movies we overlook, people want all this dialogue.
Yep.
And they want to say the most. It's that look.
Yeah.
It's that stand. It's how your body is. It's how that place makes you feel.
Yeah. Listen, Because you know what it is, and it's kind of like when you're with someone, right? Because when you're watching something or you're singing or whatever it is, that's a relationship, right? It's a
Yeah.
relationship with your audience and it's a relationship with the scene, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
so when you're in a relationship with your significant other, it's the same thing. It's like I can be in the same room with you and it
Hmm.
feels full.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like the love and I feel the intent. And to be able to put that on screen, that's just, so beautiful as well. So
Yeah. And you can have two people sitting beside each other, backs to each other, and feel
yeah.
just how cold it is. It's
Yeah.
just, man, this art is so.
It's so yeah. That's why oh my gosh, when I started this, I was like, ooh, I get to talk to I get to talk to people who are just as in love
Mhm.
with this, with their craft as I am, right? And I'm
Yeah.
always learning. And that's what's on not, oh, you know, uh, surface level stuff, but really kind of
Yeah.
like the passion about it. So
Yeah.
thank you very much again for being here.
No, thank you.
Um, so I saw something on your page and you said, I know you have checkout time that's going to be coming out, and you said it gave you a chance to work against type. So can you talk more about the role?
Yeah, so Amy Hanter, if you look at the breakdown, my son is so loud. Good job, Harvey. If you if you look at the breakdown from the original script, Amy
Right.
Hanter was a 60-year-old white woman.
Oh,
So I read for Belle,
yeah.
and my read for Belle, I mean, it was cute or whatever, but my co-star Jacqueline, she was amazing as
Yeah.
Belle. But Corey is a producer, and he stars as Jordan also. He was like, "Hey, why don't you try this role, Amy Hanter?" And I looked at it, and it just, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I had taped with my mentor right before. I remember it was my daughter's birthday. It was getting ready to be her birthday, so my husband went in the other room, and I'm like, "Okay, this is basically a one-person scene." So Jasmine I put on a lumberjack shirt.
Uh-huh.
I put on a short wig and I just went to town. She felt so creepy to me. She
Right.
felt so misunderstood. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because if you really look at Amy Hanter, she's a very disturbed woman,
Yeah.
but she's devoid of love.
Mm.
And her heart was extremely broken.
Yeah.
And she's operating from a place of needing to find that love. So that's what her hotel is about. When you watch it, you'll see.
Okay.
And I never thought, like, if it was anybody else, I would have never got that part. Never. Like, at
Wow.
all. They wouldn't even gave it to me because it was a 60-year-old white woman.
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah.
And my age don't even matter. I'm a black woman.
Right.
So the fact that they gave me that shot and I was really able to put that lady in my body
Yeah.
and give her a voice.
Right.
Because that's the other thing. She just needed somebody to hear her and feel her.
Mm.
And because she has so much love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the against type I'm talking about. Another
Right.
one is like, playing what would be against my type? Because I like to be a chameleon child. I like to be a character actress.
Yeah.
That would be against my type. Like if I played like a little high school person, that's not my type. My voice is too mature. I got kids, so my soul is a little bit older.
Yeah.
But that was completely. If it was anybody else, I would have never got that role.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because that was the first time I ever got into a role, and I really got to play and explore and give parts of the craft that I've never been able to give to a role.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
Oh.
And I wasn't typecast either. Because, we get typecast, sure.
Yeah. And that, I always wonder about that, as far as, and here's what I hate. One, I hate the term black movie, right? Because then it's like automatically they're thinking, there's a stigma kind of put on it.
Yeah.
which I think that now it has grown so much. Like I think it's matured so much because there's more investment in African American films.
Yeah.
And it's not a black, it's just, it's a movie, right?
Right.
I just, you think about Jordan Peele and you think about Tyler Perry and, just what they've done for this industry. And I don't know if you remember when Jordan Peele said he'll never cast a white person in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not what I'm going to do.
And that's the thing. I mean, they get all the movies. So, like, why we gotta do all this?
I just, and I feel like it's like, I appreciated what he said because I'm like, okay, well, I understand that there are people who have been overlooked. And like we said, there's enough for everyone to eat. There is enough for everyone to eat.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? And this is like totally off, like random. How do you remember all these lines? Like, listen, do they have boards up in the background that have your line up? You just remember them. How do you do that? How? Tell me.
It was a struggle at first.
Okay.
It was a struggle at first. And I mean, to be honest with you, some of the lines that come out, if you're in the moment, another word might pop out.
Right.
I've been trained. I'm training with my mentor because television, you can't do that. You can't do that in television. You have to honor the writer's words. There's a reason why they wrote this. There's a reason why the character speaks this way.
Right.
And that's something I had to learn. Okay. A lot of actors don't know that. A lot of our actors don't know that if they don't have training and all that stuff. But one of my new teachers, she's teaching me a new technique of taking the page and walking it to put it in your body, right? Because a lot of times you might memorize it like a speech or something. But the minute you get up, the minute your co-star do something to make you turn around, you forget because you didn't practice that way.
Right.
I've been taking the paper and I've been walking the line. So when I say a line, I walk one way. And I say it and I walk another way. It's also teaching me a different intention. Yeah. Like say, hey, and somebody say, hey, I go this way, then I don't want to talk to you. It's a whole different thing that I'm learning, but
right.
To put the words in my body so that when I walk it, I can remember it. So I'm saying it, I'm saying the lines over and over. I'm getting the understanding of the lines. I'm asking questions about the line. Why am I saying that line? I'm listening to what somebody else is saying. Yeah. And then back in my line, like, they're asking this question, so this makes sense. So once you start really training it, it's you listen to them and it's what makes sense, the next thing that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult to explain, but just walking it and putting it in my body. Okay.
I've always wondered that because I'm like, this is a lot of work. It, for TV, movies, all of this. It's like you get a new script, which is, 80 pages, right? And you have to like memorize that in however long, like a week or something like that, or two.
Some actors who have been known. I remember the show Hollywood. I forgot what his name was, but one of the old school actors, he could not remember his lines, so they had to have, prompts on some words. So if you got it like that, yeah, but if you don't, learn the lines because a whole bunch of people who will take your spot. Right. Also, just like just reading. Just reading. Just reading. Every day, just read. Just find something to read. And then it gets you used to words. Yeah. And then the capacity kind of expands. Just like, if you're not eating a lot, you put food in your stomach kind of small, so you don't eat. But once you start putting more and more in it, it starts expanding. Yeah. So reading and staying on top of learning new lines.
What's interesting is I don't even know why. Here's the thing. I can memorize a song because I make it a point to memorize a song that I love, right? But yet it is so foreign to me to say, how do you remember all those lines? But I sure remember singing A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y back when I was, 5 years old or what have you. But I remember that song, right? And now I'm asking, that's interesting. See?
But it's another thing. You don't memorize songs you don't like.
Ooh.
So if you see a script and you find something in it that really draws you in,
Yeah.
you're gonna do your best to remember it.
Yeah.
It made you feel some way, so you kind of saying it over so you can get that feeling back. Kind of like drugs, you need that feeling. But yeah, if you find similarities in your life or things that you went through or things that interest you, you'll remember it. It'll come to you. It will.
Right. Tell me what else is coming up. I know you have checkout time, but is there anything else coming up that we should look out for?
Checkout time, and checkout time.
Okay.
But no, I am filming a new project. If COVID get right.
Right.
In March or April. I'm also doing another short with Calvin Walker. It's gonna be a different project. It's gonna be a passion project.
Yeah.
Our love for Black people. It's a love letter to Black people. So
you produced that, right?
I'm producing that.
Yeah.
And I Love Jazz. That is a pilot that we're doing. It's like a modern version of I Love Lucy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, about my life and my husband and my kids. So that's coming up too. So I'm excited to just continue to work.
Yeah.
To fall in love with the craft and just continue to do the work and get our jobs back because we're losing our jobs to a lot of people.
One thing I read, which I thought was really, really great, is that Law and Order has been hiring the actors in on Broadway that have lost out. Like they've been putting them on set and that kind of stuff. So I thought that was really great.
Broadway actors are going to take over.
Yeah.
Because about New York, man. New York, them people take the craft seriously.
For real.
Like if you a real craftsman, you go to New York.
Yeah. Period.
And so yeah, they're gonna take over and they're gonna make some moves.
Okay.
I'm excited to see.
So can you tell us where everyone can find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. Is there Instagram and Twitter at Jashanise, JSHANISE. Yeah, at Jashanise. My website is www.jasmineshanise.com. Facebook, I'm just Jasmine Shanise Gammon. I'm almost at 5,000 friends, so woo. I had to delete a lot of people because that was a lot of folk.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this show. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see some more of your films. What I actually did is I was looking at your IMDb and I'm like, okay. So I bought a few of them and I've been watching them over the week. So I'm going to wait. I think checkout time comes out February 17th.
That's it, yeah.
Okay. So I'll wait, for that one to come out. And then, thank you so much again.
Thank you. And please let me know what you think about checkout time. That was a little labor. That was, how Drake said, no, that wasn't Drake. I was going to say you wasn't shooting with me in the gym, but that's the wrong one. It's supposed to be, I left it all on the court, right?
Right.
I left it all on the court, Michael Jordan. When I left that hotel, because we was in a hotel for 2 days, it was cold, we were stuck in there. I had nothing else to give that girl.
Yeah.
I left that hotel, I didn't even know what I did.
All right.
So
I will let you know, absolutely.
I pray that it shows.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Talent You Should Know. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well as leave a review. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.